Tonight, the president's health care law under attack from three directions: Republicans in Congress, Republican states attorneys general, and now some newly elected Republican governors in all of these states. They are all jumping into the fight. First, Kansas Governor-elect Sam Brownback joins us live. Good evening, sir. Sir, let me start first with congratulations. I imagine that it's fun. You've now no longer been in the United States Senate. You're moving on to become governor of Kansas, where our Secretary of HHS was the governor. So let me ask you, the health care statute, what are you going to do about it?
Well, we're going to push back every chance to get. I know in Congress, the congressional Republicans are going to be pushing back on its implementation, on its funding. And at the governor's level, I'm going to push back every chance I can here. The people of Kansas don't like this bill. They don't think it's going to improve their health care. They think it's going to be worse for their health care, and they think it's going to cost more. So what we will do is the things that we're required to do under the law, we will do. But otherwise, we're going to push back. We will push back in legal challenges. The attorney generals across the country are pushing back on those. I will support that, and then we're going to push back on its implementation every chance we get.
Are you going to direct your state attorney general to join the lawsuit in Florida?
Yes. Matter of fact, I campaigned with our state attorney general. We did press conferences together on this issue. He said we are going to push back against this, and it was probably the key issue in the attorney general's race. We had a Republican attorney general candidate that ousted a Democrat attorney general that was a sitting Democrat attorney general appointed by the current HHS secretary. It was a big issue. The Republican won in double digits in this race. This was the centerpiece issue.
You know, it's a little bit like a board game post-election, trying to figure out who's going to be joining, who's going to be in, who's going to be out. And there are 11 new Republican governors. 2 of those states, though, are already in the lawsuit down in Florida, which leaves 9 possibilities. But I'm curious, have you spoken to any of the other Republican governors, whether they're newly elected or whether they're incumbents reelected?
I have not on this issue. Now, we're going to have a Republican Governors Association meeting coming up this next week. This will be a center of the discussion, I am certain. And all of us are joined together in this thought that this is just not the right thing to do. Now, the question will be, Greta, because we've got so much of this bill is still up in the air as to how it's going to be implemented, is what's going to come down when and what's going to be required of the states. And nobody knows the answer to that at this point in time, even though the bill was passed, months ago, 9 months ago. We still don't know what's going to be required when. That's going to be a big part of the discussion, and then a big part of the discussion is going to be how do we push back against this and still comply with the law that we're required to comply with.
Well, so the interesting dynamic of this is it's a bill that was written broadly without specifics, as bills often are, and it then gets farmed out to a particular agency to set the rules and regulations which tell the states what to do and tell us as American people what we have or don't have. And I guess what's sort of interesting about it is that this broad-based bill is being sent to your former governor's agency, HHS, to do a lot of this legwork to determine exactly even what it means.
Well, and that's the thing that's so threatening to the public and to the business community and to the American people, is that, okay, you pass this bill and we still don't know what's in it. And now it's going to be interpreted by an agency of a bill. We don't know what's in the bill, or we don't understand what's in the bill, and how are they going to implement that? And that's no way to run a country, in my estimation. It also introduces so much uncertainty into the broader marketplace that it makes people hesitate. We've got a lot of businesses, there's a lot of cash sitting on the sideline in the United States today, and no small part of it is people questioning what's going to be required in this health care bill and how much they're going to have to fund. One of the things I said during the campaign was that one of the best things we could do to get the American economy growing again is repeal ObamaCare. And people across Kansas in large numbers agree with that sentiment.
Do you join the Florida lawsuit? I mean, as a practical matter, whether you join it or not, is that if the individual mandate is struck down, it'll apply to everybody, and it essentially guts the bill because there's no financing. That's really how the financing is gathered to support the health care bill. So you don't really have to join it except for a symbolic gesture. Do you agree with that?
Well, I think there is some symbolism to joining it, Greta, but I think it's also a statement. It's a statement that the American people don't want this bill. And it's a statement in that this bill, while the taxing on it starts in year 1, the implementation doesn't start until year 4. There is still political time to push back against this bill being implemented and for it to be repealed before it is fully implemented. That's the key zone that we're in now, and there's a lot of political moments within that zone, which I think it's important for states to express this, express it broadly, express it in lawsuits, express it in the court of public opinion.
Senator, thank you, sir.
Hey, thank you, Greta. Good to join you again.
Nice to see you. Okay, Florida has a new incoming Attorney General.